us on the Global Entrepreneurship Week. This is Mr. Haidar Darus. And also, before we begin, congratulations on your recent award, Most Influential Young Entrepreneur, the top 100.
Thank you very much.
So my name is Nicholas. I'm from Teslagram. And with us today is Mr. Haidar Darus from Planet Mahir, sorry. So yeah, before we begin, could you introduce yourself? What is Planet Mahir, and of course yourself?
All right, thank you very much to the organizer. Thank you very much, GEM, for organizing this prestige events throughout all this week after this during pandemic. I hope that all this event going well since the first day until end of the day. So good afternoon and thank you to all to organize this event. My name is Haidar Darus. I'm from Kelang, from Selangor, Malaysia. I'm 26 years old. My background is accounting in business management. At the same time, going to learn informally and informally through the professional courses for data analytics. At the same time, I learned from the people, and I learned from my experience from my partners. Since last 5 years, I involved in business. We start in event management, and then we try to pivot our business into a business consultation. Then I participate of a lot of events internationally and also locally about technology landscape, about the future of the emerging economics. So at the same time, we get the ideas, and also we collaborate with a lot of people, with researchers, and also my partners, Datuk Ramzi, doing this research about the future of education last few years, because he also getting a PhD in strategic planning, also in method of education. So we get these ideas to develop Planet Mahir. What is Planet Mahir? So Planet Mahir is an online education and also skill sharing platform. First, in a native language, we have currently 120 instructors all about Southeast Asia. That our concept and also our vision, we try to revolutionize the industry of the education and also training, doing digitalization through virtual learning environment to the digital classroom, like what we did last 2 years. And the good news that the opportunity is become bigger, and people start to aware about digital technology, about education, to transform their business, transform how they learn through the virtual classes, so that we have the awareness community that start to aware where to get the access on the online courses. Thank you very much.
It's actually very wonderful to hear. Besides the Planet Mahir and Digerati 50 as well, I believe you are an entrepreneur, which you have done multiple things. As we all know, you're very public with your appearance and all. But of course, today we're going to focus on Planet Mahir. So as you said, Planet Mahir is actually a platform who actually hosts people who is layman terms. I do apologize, layman terms. So it's a platform that can actually hire someone to teach a certain skill set for another person. So someone can actually hire someone to actually teach them, for example, typing, for example, social media skills, designs. Is it something like that?
Yep. So we have a 3 pillar. We are focusing on the first phase for the skills development, for skill sharing. That's what we call skills. Our concept is like Grab. If you have a car, then you can rent and earn money through sharing your car. So right now we have knowledge and also we have skills, so that we are sharing our knowledge and skills for those who have the skills to share. Then they earn money through skill sharing, so that anyone who ever have experience, who ever have a reputation or recognition, that can be our instructors on different courses, that we are open to a public. But our first phase, because we recruit our first batch that from the one who have the recognition, high recognition, who have followers, so that we have a marketing strategy to easily for us to go commercialize.
So they are more credible, basically.
Yes, credible. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. So all these teachers, do you actually, besides credibility from their self-branding and whatsoever, do you actually get them to actually show you their original certificate or any sort of certification that they are what they say they are, for example?
Oh, usually when we start on the eligibility to become as instructors, um, because of we are non-academic, we are focusing on the industrial experts, so that you are industrial. Because most of the universities internationally, all their instructors, all their lecturers is come from industry experts. So if let's say if you have a experience 5 years that you have your own business that's sustainable, and also we try to implement back how the process that you can implement back to the learning curve. So we are inculcating us, because all this certification and also the recognition is just added value that you are giving for people to convince to learn with you.
Okay, okay. Sounds interesting. Very, very interesting what you're doing. So I think we'll just begin the couple of questions that is put forward to me as well.
Okay.
So to begin with, what do you think about this whole? I would say right now the platform that you're running. What is it? How is it any different from things like a Fiverr? Maybe companies like companies like Fiverr basically that provides a very similar platform that you can actually hire someone for a very, very discounted rate. So how would you say, like, how would you innovate that idea to actually implement it in Planet Mahir?
Oh, okay. Usually we have our own like validators that are already appear in the market, like Udemy, Coursera, like masterclass.com. But we have our own niche that we are focusing. And also our business model is different than other business model. We are offering not just for the consumers directly to the public, but we offer to the bundle that we are selling cost to the business for upskilling, and also for corporates they want to learn, and also for the entrepreneurship. Because our pillars is, the first is the soft skills, second is the technical skill, the third is the entrepreneurship. People pay to learn and to earn money. People pay to learn, and previously our business model is learn and also base your skills what relevant to the industry market to get the job, the match whatever industry needs. So we have different category. The continuity happen in our business model.
It's like you are picking the best of the best gurus out there. So
Yep.
when you pick the best of the best gurus out there, of course they have to be credible and eligible. And then this is where you're different basically from Fiverr and masterclass.com, is it?
Yes,
So
yes,
you're
yes.
trying to support the local community as well and stuff.
Yes, yes. So
Okay.
we are doing the sharing economy, especially with the government agencies, with the private entities, SMEs, and also through communities. We are very holistic in approaching, flexible to giving accessibility. And also our USP is reasonable price, because education, most of conventional education, they need to go to the class, but they need to, the price everywhere, if you want to learn about branding, you want to learn about marketing, it's cost around near around about 500 to few thousands. But with us, we provide you from 10 ringgit, which equal to $4, up to 500 ringgit, which equal to $100+ only.
So it is a very reasonable pricing for people to, I would say, learn a skill set that is, of course, from a very credible platform like Planet Mahir, basically.
That's
Okay.
right.
So the second question put forward would be, what do you think of the SME landscape of Malaysia, of course? And is your target audience just global, or are you only focusing on Malaysia itself? Because Planet Mahir sounds very local, I would say. You know, the word Mahir means a skill. So would you actually, are your prospects for the future global or just local maybe, or regional or whatsoever? Yeah.
Of course, when we do a technology business or startups, we are focusing on the scalability rate. We have a, like I said, phase development and also expansion plan within 3 to 7 to 10 years. That currently we are focusing on Southeast Asia. That's why we do this Mahir. Mahir in Indonesia, very familiar, the same meaning. And
Yeah.
also in Singapore, Brunei, So we have a 3,050,000 population target market that we're trying to penetrate yet. And then when we have this blueprint, we have the numbers. Then we try to expand and do it localized. If let's say, because previously we get approached from China company, also from UAE, that they want to do in their own languages. So try to do it localization in their language, but powered by Planet Mahir.
Okay. So basically you have like some sort of your Asian or your so-called team managers to be going around different countries, understanding their cultures and stuff like that. Then you implement Planet Mahir on them then.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Because currently, right now, we already have instructors from the Singapore, from Brunei, fashion designer that's doing modeling, that's doing publication, teaching us in our platform from Indonesia. So we already start to penetrate the international market already.
So following up the question, won't you say there is a difference when you say you go to a certain country, how entrepreneurship in Singapore, how entrepreneurship in the United States, for example, do you think it will be different? Will it be any hindrance, any sort of obstacle? Will it be any obstacle for Planet Mahir maybe?
Oh, because currently due to this pandemic, that's why we are focusing on the local communities. And we are focusing on because we are selling courses previously based on video on demand, just video only. But right now we're trying to pivot our business that we are providing in live courses, live classes, live stream to live stream. But the market acceptance because of this pandemic is really smooth, is really good.
Yeah, this is the next question that I wanted to ask actually, because this is a very skill set. Some of it skill set based, sorry. Some of it is actually you have to be within the physical presence of your mentor or your guru. And I wanted to ask, since you've already addressed it as well, we could go there. How does the COVID-19, the whole pandemic thing actually does it affect your business or whatsoever? Because right now a lot of people are doing their courses online. Could it be a hindrance? Could it be also an obstacle? Yeah, share with us.
Okay, because the good thing when we started early as a pioneer, so that we already build our own infrastructure, we already build our own platform. Because to develop this kind of platform, it takes time. It's good that we already start commercializing early, so that not every people need to do their own development for their own. So that they just have to leverage. It's like e-commerce. That you are selling like Lazada, Shopee. I think most of everyone local try to develop their own like more than 10 or 20 e-commerce shop. But it's different when you already start doing a big organization and people already start aware about you. You already exist in the market since few years back.
Okay, interesting. Besides masterclass.com and Fiverr, who do you think are your closest competitor in let's focus on Malaysia, for example, right now, in within the vicinity of Malaysia itself? Who do you think are your closest competitor, and how do you actually besides your USP of being a reasonable pricing, what else would you think you could actually defeat them in? What sense here?
When every kind of platform, even though Facebook, even though YouTube, even though anything, so the most assets, valuable asset that you have on your companies is your contents. Not everyone can do a platform. Everyone can do any kind of digitalize or anything. But the difference is we already have platform. We have collaborate with universities. We collaborate with the content providers. We collaborate with industries. We collaborate in-house and also instructors that are providing us a content. So that different than for those competitors, because actually we are trying to focus on our vision so that we are not mirrored by the other competitor. Because I don't think that we have currently our benchmarking the standard that fit with us right now, because we put our standard higher so that our quality that the customers receive is always impactful and so valuable.
So you have I would say it's like a QC, it's like a guru QC, is it something like that, to make sure that all and everything that you've given is actually of value?
Yeah. Yep,
Okay.
yep, yep. That's we have our own content managers and everyone take charge.
From your own understanding, Mr. Haidar, just curious to know, what do you think about the buying patterns right now, post-pandemic, during pandemic, or maybe pre-pandemic? Because you've, of course, started Planet Mahir before the pandemic as well. What do you think of the buying pattern? Has it escalated? Has it helped your business?
Ah, okay. The good thing when you start doing this digital business, it's good that this is the opportunities, and also this is the way of people start to change how they are preserve, how they are observing, how they are viewing, how they are buying, and also consuming. So when we are doing this kind of business, you can look started of the essential business like restaurants or like shopping malls. So if you see all this buying for the primary products and also necessary products that changes, everything go towards the digital technology adoption through courier to delivery. So the good thing because from us, because we are already appear in the medias, we already appear in the social. So the good thing after this pandemic, during this pandemic, so that people looking for us as a references for them to start a business, for them to ask for a consultation, how to do,
Like
especially
motivation,
for IT.
motivation,
Yep, that's right.
inspiration and motivation. Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Okay. So to sidetrack a little bit, because you've of course been a serial entrepreneur, I can say, right? Serial entrepreneur. So what do you think about other industry players, like maybe your friends, your colleagues, your business partners? How would you say their businesses have actually affected the economy as well? Since the of the pandemic, the impact of the pandemic.
Of course, I have a few groups and also involved in few association, international and also nationally. And also we have our close group communities and our own consortium companies from another partners, another companies, another ventures. So that we see, because let's back to the fundamentals of business. So because not everyone can survive. Not everyone can create the sustainability of the business. But we must take a look on the inside of what happened now and what we can predict now. So at the end of the day, is about what is the people demand right now and how agile is your business to adapt the relevancies of the changes of the economy.
Okay, I personally feel the pandemic is actually, I won't say a good thing, but I will try. I mean, I'm trying to be positive as well as most people around us as well as entrepreneur. I will personally say that the pandemic, well, the positive side is where all of us we are allowed to actually take time, to take a step back and to understand our business, to structure our business model and whatsoever, better. But what do you think? Do you think it's a good thing? Like what is the positive impact that you could actually take from the pandemic that
Yeah,
you could share with the audience?
like I said just now, it's all about the re-engineer the economy. It's all about the rebuilding your business. Sometimes, even though you already have in business for 10 years, for 15 years, but the most important thing that I suggest, I recommend to do is to have the data of your company, to have the data literacy or to have your own report and record so that you can always find the insight of what your weakness of your business and how do you improve your business processes and how technology can enhance your business through changing to make your business relevant, I think. So thank you.
Thank you for that. um, as you're running a platform, a lot of people are also curious. Platforms are not easy, especially when you, I would say, start off a platform that is, Malaysians, allow me to say this, where we are kind of skeptics, Malaysians, right? We
Yep.
sometimes, we would say locally, we are very curiga, very curious in things, right? So, I mean, I'm very sure you will agree with the smile that you're having right now. So, when we are skeptics and platforms, were to start off in Malaysia, so how would you say, because it's a very chicken and egg situation where in your platform you need tons of gurus, teachers, and people with wonderful skill sets, and at the other side you need people, paying customers. you need students basically. So when building a platform is always difficult, there's this chicken and egg problem. So maybe you could share with us what were your strategy to actually balance this whole chicken and egg issue?
Okay, it's back to the 4W and 1H. Is back to the why you sign up for business and what's the purpose of you are doing business. So people don't understand because they hear from the news, they heard from the medias, they are hyping the story narrative about the startups, about the technology, about a platform, because it's not an easy thing. This is a full-time job. This is a lifetime work. So that they need to understand about, first of all, when you did something, you must have really know about yourself, your strength, your capacity, and you must have a very good knowledge about what are you doing, and really need to research. And after that, all this process for the commercialization is a long journey process that people need to understand. That at the end of the day, it's all about what you believe, what's your passion, and how determined you are for doing any kind of business or any kind of industries. At the end of the day, it's like I said, all about the process, because we trust the process. Everything is need time to progress. There's no like rocket science happen. At the end of the day, it's just about the business, the people, and the technology. How this combine and harmonize and create exchange values.
Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. So as a serial entrepreneur yourself, what would you advise and what are your recommendations given to upcoming entrepreneurs, where they could be older than you or they could be younger than you, but I mean, you are very young at your age to be a serial entrepreneur. So congrats on that. That's a very, very wonderful thing. So what would you actually advise the younger people, younger generations and the upcoming entrepreneurs of the industry?
Yeah, first of all, we need to be awake, conscious about your social. We call it social conscious. So when you are awake and conscious and also concerned about what happened in your environment, so that you can predict and awake about yourself, because this is your future. At the end of the day, you need to survive. At the end of the day, you need to eat, and you cannot depend on the employment. You cannot depend on the employabilities. But what I suggest, it depends on your personality, on your needs, and also your capacity. That not everyone can become entrepreneurs, but are you ready to become entrepreneurs? And also, if you want to be an entrepreneurs, but you must have someone to guide you. Anything, if you involve in sports or any kind of industries, you really need a guide. You really need someone for you to refer. So I suggest that for young entrepreneurs and for whoever that try to get connect with someone who are the success, have already have the sustainability plan, also stability for already more than 10 to 15 years. The company is always lean, always agile, and adapt to the current business, always fast. So that's what I recommend. Thank you.
Okay, a little sensitive question that I would like to put forward. Seeing as how a lot of young entrepreneurs, right, they have this mindset that Mark Zuckerberg is a dropout, for example. Bill Gates is a dropout, and whatsoever is a dropout, right? So what would you actually say? Like, would you say study or not study and just pursue your entrepreneurship and just go all out? Like, what would your advice be to people who actually think education is not very, very important? Let's just start off entrepreneurship tomorrow. Let's just take the risk and start off since I'm young. If I fall, I can climb up again. Yeah, what would you say to them?
Okay. Not to be sorry, but to be informed you that we are not a daredevil, and we are not an extreme person. And also, whatever we think, whatever we want to do, we must have the preparation first. It's not about the not important or important. I think academics education is very important, but it's different landscape, the ecosystem, the system of education in Malaysia and also internationally. But you must take a look of all our ecosystem, the big picture of our ecosystem, so that you have the continuity plan, that you have the alternative for you. If you are winning, if you want to start over tomorrow, let's say, if you want to become entrepreneurs. So, but you don't know anything about entrepreneurs. So it's a big risk, and also is I think it's not a very good technical that you're
It's
trying to
always
do.
better to prepare, you know,
Yes,
strategize and stuff, right?
yes, yes.
Yeah.
And also the good tip when you study, sometimes we don't spend our time in the classes, but also within your studies, you already can start to, because I think most of universities already implement the embedded the courses of the entrepreneurship, at least for any kind of, even though you study in mechanical engineering, even though you study in accounting, even though you study in arts, but I think they are already embedded in every of faculties to learn about entrepreneurship skills, because it's very important.
Yeah. Okay. I had to ask that because as an entrepreneur to an entrepreneur, I am very curious as well. Like a lot of people have been, I would say, looking through Facebook. You know how social media is so, it's crazy right now. You know, when I would say younger generations were to look at the video and they'll be like, hey, if this guy could do it, I could do it. You know, Dan Lok and all those gurus, you know, they'll be like, just drop everything, join my course and whatsoever. And then all the younger generations will just get blinded by social media.
I understand.
So I feel personal branding is very important,
Yep,
but
yep.
would you say personal branding has helped you a lot?
Oh, for me personally, from my experience, of course, it helped me a lot. But sometimes when we are referring to this business icon, and also we are referring to this your idolize, like Bill Gates, like Elon Musk, but they have a different thinking. They have a beyond thinking. They are, I don't want to say it's kind of like a bit CRAZY, you know, but they are very obsessed of what they are doing. It's a beautiful obsession that they are doing. Not everyone can do in this world. And also, it's all about sources, because most of people, they look at the sources on a different perspective of what they want. But actually, what's the reality happen behind the story is always different. That's why I prefer for you to look at, let's say, Gary Vee or
Yep.
anyone that talking about the real things,
Real
about
things, yes, yes.
what happened, about what's the negative side of what the challenges, sorry, what the challenges that people are trying to move. So there's a good sources.
So so basically it's better to see people who actually run a business that is stable and that actually has solid proof that they were businessmen or entrepreneurs instead of someone who is just like a guru, you know, like
That's
is
right.
it?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Mm. Okay. So moving on to the next question that's put forward to me. What do you think about conventional businesses, meaning traditional businesses? It could be a brick and mortar businesses. Could they actually survive without the adaptation of technology?
The surviving, of course, yes, for anyone what we do, but the difference is our efforts. So if you are doing conventional business, means you must put your effort 10 times more than the other businesses that already start adopting a digital technology. So why you have to burden yourself by putting your effort through your physical bodies, through the conventional way of doing marketing, conventional of doing operation, so that we already have the alternative. So it's good, supposedly that they still can survive, but I said, but it's better for them to start to adopt and also deploy technology in their business model.
Okay. Just to touch back a little bit about the whole guru thing, because I have to share with the audience that me and Mr. Haidar, we don't have, I mean, I think we can agree we don't have anything against that. It's just that we are sharing it because Planet Mahir is a platform that actually sells skill sets for another, I would say, skilled person. So we're just making it clear where there is no we're not prejudiced or anything to whatsoever. Yeah, just to make it clear, Mr. Haidar as well. All right. So what would your advice be as well? The next question would be, what would your advice be to young millennials to be focusing on conventional businesses or tech startups? As we all know, there's a lot of us who are actually, I would say, the next generation of taking over their parents' business. And if the parents' business are conventional businesses, would you tell them to digitize the business or to innovate it or maybe pivot to a tech startup? Or what would you say to them?
Thank you very much. Good questions. Um, so for the young millennials, I inculcating for them, of course, from there's another level from the generation barriers. So to start to believe, some of the group that doesn't believe, and also still maintaining the way of doing business conventionally. And also, even though like closely to my cousin, my uncles, and also sometimes they are still believing that because they did this for last 20 years, so it's hard for them to changes their mindset, changes their everyday, because they are doing it, they are observing it, they're doing it, they are taking action every day the same way of doing business previously. So as the young millennials try to approve that these digital technologies that can make you survive, that can give results, that can give you better efficiencies. So we must have the proof record to convince people, proof record to convince our parents, to convince someone that are older than us, so that they believe, oh, this is workable, this is impactful, this is better than our way of method of doing the conventional business.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yep.
A very, 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 very inspiring advice to, of course, young entrepreneurs as well. Trigger question. Sorry, a lot of trigger questions where we have to be sensitive because it's a global audience. So I have to give a disclaimer that this couple of questions are triggered questions.
Okay.
So another question would be, how would you actually advise young entrepreneurs who say that they have very good idea? And of course, Malaysia, we have platforms like MDEC, we have platforms like Cradle, Magic. And do you think these are actually a good platform, or should we just go and source up? Because, Malaysia right now, we have a lot of brain drains and everything where a lot of very good ideas were to leave the country. But some of us where we are very patriotic, we just want to like die trying to, be in our country and to contribute back. But some I wouldn't say that they're not patriotic, but some of them, they have no choice but to just, find sources elsewhere, So what would you actually tell entrepreneurs like that? Should they just die trying, establishing their entrepreneurship journey in Malaysia, or yeah? What do you think about the platforms and the assistance that we actually have right now in our country, Malaysia?
Okay, thank you very much. It's back to the fundamentals, like I said, fundamentals of doing business, because I know that everyone have a dream. I know that everyone wants to earn, to achieve something. So let's get back to the fulfillment. What's the fulfillment of our life? What fulfillment of our journey? So what we want to achieve? What we want to develop? And also, if you have a lot of ideas, because previously I have I think almost 20, 30 people comes to me to ask about how these ideas work, how these ideas can sell. So it's back to the commercialization. So any kind of business of how good is your technology, how good is your product, how delicious is your product, is all about the existing, how to make a building relation with the community, how to build relation, how to make your business exist, is how to promote your business. So that's the most important thing, that the skills that people don't see, this perspective of when they start doing business, they are too focusing on the R&D part. They are too focusing on the improvise their research, and then no actionable and no market acceptance that trying to accept their, and at the end of the day, they are exhausting, and also they feel like trying to give up, and also they feel hopeless. And then when they ask, when they did another thing, they're still doing the same thing, and they give up.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you must, like I said, find I think better like consultants for you to give advice to you.
Basically, at least a very good mentor that can actually lead the right way or something.
Yeah. And also, like me personally, I have like 6, 7 mentors in life, my business, for my financial, for business development of the company, for networks, for marketing. So you must have mentors.
And it is proven to have a couple of mentors that you can trust and rely on. Of course, with they're credible and they're capable. It
That's
is
right.
proven that, you know, you have been a serial entrepreneur and it works. Having a very good mentor actually works, right?
That's right. That's right.
So as an entrepreneur, then another entrepreneur, one question I have to ask definitely, ideas or execution, which do you think is more important? Is it the
Ideas,
is it the ideation part or is it the whole execution? Because there's always an argument between, you know, these two.
ideas 30%, execution 70%.
Ideas
Thing you
30%.
need to do must have a planning, because when we are you have ideas, you have a planning, you have a direction, and then you start to execute. And also better for you to improving by progress.
Okay. So do give me a couple of minutes where I have to check the Facebook Live to see if there's any questions.
All right.
Could you check if there's any questions?
Is there any question?
Yeah, is there any questions for anyone looking at the live? Because I think what Mr. Haidar has actually shared is actually very, very inspiring. Even for myself as an entrepreneur as well, I find it very inspiring where um, it's not easy being an entrepreneur in, I would say, Malaysia, but you need to know the right things, doing the right things, and not just, I would say, do it like a blind mice, if some people might say in a harsher term,
Yep.
where you could just break through any wall. I don't think it's that easy, but of course, with will and with determination, you know, anything can happen as well.
Yes, yes.
So I don't think there are any questions. 5 more comments. Fuwaida, great sharing, great business consultant. You've got a lot of fans, I see. Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you, thank you.
I think there is a question. Oh, so there are two questions. We will start with Tun Putri. She asked, what platforms are Planet Mahir offering their classes currently? What platforms are Planet Mahir offering their classes currently?
We have our web application through www.planetmahir.com with
Okay.
our skills, and also we just launching our Mahir tutor for the schools, because of all the institutions already closed, so they need extra classes. But because of the demand, we have a teachers that teaches us a different method technique of doing for national SPM examination for secondary students.
Okay.
Mm.
And the second question is by Zahid Ahmad. He asked, what is Planet Mahir's product range? I think you've already addressed this earlier, right? But do you mind just maybe repeating? Maybe Mr. Zahid Ahmad came in a little late, maybe.
Product range.
Yes, product range. I think he meant to say price range.
Okay. The product range. First of all, our type of courses. We have 3 types of courses: soft skills, hard skills, technical, and also entrepreneurship skills. The 3 types of different pillars. And also our price range from within 10 ringgit to 500 ringgit. Depends on the type of courses. Because we are dealing with the instructors, that we are doing a share profit with the instructors. So if the instructors think that their courses are sellable, are marketable, so that they put the range higher, so that people, because of people knowing him, because of people knowing her, or famous, because of famous maybe, or because of how he good at the teaching.
So it's a demand and supply game. Demand and supply.
That's right.
Okay. Tun Putri asked another question. What classes do you offer as of now and future plans? What classes do you offer as of now and future plans?
We have our own video on demand, our live courses, and also when you, like I said, Mahir tutor. And currently we are providing a training under Human Resource Development Fund, and also for the upskilling program, and also for train and placement. So we have varieties and flexibilities of we are providing services through what's the demand and what's people's need now currently.
Okay, there is another question actually. It's not on Facebook, but been given by one of the moderators. They're asking, when do you think is the right time to be an entrepreneur?
Wow.
The questions are challenging question.
When is the right time to
When
be?
is the right time to be an entrepreneur?
When you get when you know that your mind, you're physically really well prepared, and you are knowledge are well prepared, and you are have well connected with the people, and you are already exposed about the experience, not as an entrepreneur, but you are involving with the people, entrepreneurs people, and you think that you have a belief, and you already have the plan for you to refer. So I think that's the right time.
Okay. Let me see if there's any other question. If there's none, oh, there's one more by Efan Zairi. Can you explain more on Mahir Tutor? I think Mahir Tutor is a new implementation by Planet Mahir, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, our Mahir Tutor we just launched just within few weeks, but we already have takers from different schools and also private institution because of the extension of the SPM next year. So as parents, they don't know where to send their children to do extra classes, and they cannot send their children to go to the tuition right now. So because of this demand, so we are providing and collaborating with a few teachers, experts that can communicate well in front of the camera. So that is my tutor. We have courses for physics, biology, chemia for these core courses for them to score A's in the SPM.
Do you only focus on SPM at the moment, or because since you said the pandemic and everything is happening and it has affected SPM, and I think in Malaysia, as this is a global audience, we would like to repeat that Malaysia SPM, our examination, public examination has been extended till the next year. So I think it's also good for me to explain that this whole thing has been extended, and right now what you're trying to do is you're trying to fill in the gap that students right now have nowhere to study, and this is where Mahir Tutor comes in to fill in the gap, I would say, right?
This is our another sub brand from our parent brand is the Mahir, because after this we have another account department that take charge on different brand, because we are moving everything is parallelly. So our core is to maintain, sustain, but we have another providing solution that because of the demand, so that we can earn another extra money for our company to generate revenue every month.
Another question put forward by one of the moderators, they've actually asked, I personally think it's quite an interesting question. They're asking, do you think companies need to adapt to pandemic as of now in the long term, or they have to just adopt it as if this is going to be a permanent thing, the pandemic, how technology has affected traditional companies?
Understand. So whatever we did, well, we must look at the pain point before we do anything. For me, I look at the worst case scenario happen. What's the worst case scenario happen? So that I have the alternatives or backup solution that I prepare for what happened next. So I think for this whole period of pandemic, as our belief, as from the news, as from the CNBC, from the NST, from the announcement from our KKM, from our communication department of ministries, it takes time. I think it takes time for recovery, but this will be really a long crisis happen in I think not the worst, because we heard before it's worse, but that's it.
Yeah. I agree. I agree with what you've just stated. What you've just said, where this is going to be with us for I would say a long time, where it's going to affect our, I would say, a new lifestyle basically. So it's better for all of us, to focus on building a new norm together instead of having to change thinking that the vaccine is coming out and everything. So I think companies definitely need to adapt, right? As you've said, in short.
Yep.
So another question that one of your fans has actually asked, Nur Fatiha Rosli, she asked, what is your advice for entrepreneurs during this global pandemic? I think we've addressed this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we'll move on to another question where I heard Planet Mahir is producing audiobook and ebook. Is this true?
Yes, that's right. We are collaborating with Karangcraft, and also we just signed a MOU. My partners, Datuk Ramzi, we just signed a MOU with the DBP, Dewan Bahasa and Pustaka. If international terms, we are doing digitalization of our publication bodies in Malaysia, national publication bodies in Malaysia, doing digitalization to document, to record their videos into the ebooks, and also we did current craft for the audiobooks. And we try to do like an Audible, like Amazon, like a Script, if you heard about Script, Spotify, because they are start doing ebook, they start selling podcasts, and also Instagram, or they start doing Insta-read. And because right now we have a lot of publications in Malaysia, so very good writing, very good author, very good impactful, and also contents. But there's no like initiative, and also other companies that trying to digitalize all this knowledge so that we can create a legacy for anyone to access, rather than you put your books in the store and no one don't read it. So better we just share to the people.
Yeah, definitely. So it's more towards the, I would say, the contribution that Mahir Tutor can actually provide for the Malaysian community instead of just being selfish, I would say, right? Yeah. That's actually very good to hear. I hope, I think you've addressed most of the questions, and I think we are also running out of time.
Okay.
Yeah, so if there's no other questions, there's one last question I think I would ask. Too many, you have a lot of fans. Let me read the question. Okay, this is another very good question from me as well. I mean, from my point of view as well. Is this the best time to start businesses, companies, or is it a better time to find jobs? Because as we all know, a lot of pay cuts are happening. Companies, they're getting pay cuts from 30% to 70%, depending on their titles and stuff. So the question is asked, is this a good time to be an entrepreneur? As in during the pandemic, is it a good time, or is it still, we just have to find jobs basically to feed ourselves?
Understand. So currently they need to aware about this gig economy, and also they need to refer to the news. They need to refer to the, like, let's say, Department of Statistics Malaysia, because they see the employment rates is reducing, and also from the BNM report stated that the increasing of gig economy, and also potentially in the digital economy, is increasing up to 300 billion for next 2030. So if you are aware and conscious of what is the importance of changing your life pattern of work, so that because you see, even though like the big company like AirAsia or Malindo Air, because all of these pilot or retrench or the stewardess, everyone is turning into a business. Everyone is becoming entrepreneurs. For me, because we cannot expect that these airlines will be recovered within these 2 or 3 years. And also when you are already surviving, already starting business, but do you want to do it just for 2 years, just to cover your, and return to your normal work? For me, I recommend for you, I think this is the right time for us to shift to a new journey, also to start generating income through sharing model to our, there's a lot of kind of business model that we can do, and also within less cost, within what we have, what capacity we have, that we can start anywhere, anytime. Or you guys can refer to us for any time. We are very welcome.
Or if there's anything, go on to Planet Mahir, right? Wonderful sharing. Okay, I think that should be all. I wouldn't want to bombard you with a million questions or not. I think your fans won't let you go, right? As we are running out of time as well. Thank you again, Mr. Haidar Darus, for joining us for Global Entrepreneurship Week, Innovation and Technology. This is Mr. Haidar Darus from Planet Mahir and Digerati 50. Thank you very much for having us. It is a very, very truly an inspiring journey that you've been through, and also a very, very intellectual exchange of conversations that we actually had. So yeah, is there anything you would like to share with us, with the audience, with the global audience before we end this live session? Maybe your one last word, go home or go all in or go home, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Because currently what we have is us. So let us share, let us support whatever our friends, let's support whatever our family will support, whatever our companies, our staff, our team, to survive, to grow together. So I think that's the best word. All we have is us. That's all.
Yes. Kita jaga kita, right?
That's right.
Kita jaga kita,
Yeah.
building a new normal, right? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Haidar Darus.
Appreciate it very much.
It's a pleasure meeting you. Pleasure.
Nice to meet you. Have a good day.
You too have a good day. Thank you very much, everyone who's in our life.
Okay.
See you.